Hi students. So in this video we are going to use this drawing and figure out the perspective lines and sketch it onto a piece of paper. Okay, this is a drawing by Piranesi, and it is not one of the imaginary prisons drawings, but it is quite complex. And so I thought it would be a good way to begin figuring out perspective and figuring out the structure. So, where did my other example go? Oh, there we go. So, here's the drawing. And if we try to figure out the where the vanishing points are, here's a little sketch I made of the drawing, and with the drawing I was figuring out where the perspective lines were leading to. Okay, and so you can see that there are some that start at the stairs and then go up, and everything is kind of very neatly and tidily in this very clear 2-point perspective. And then, so there's a point that's about here and a point that's about here. And when we're drawing, we very rarely figure out where our vanishing point is about 2 feet off the page. So having this knowledge of where they are is quite helpful. And we're going to put that aside and just kind of try to draw the whole thing. Okay, so I did a test of this a little while ago, and this is what it came out looking like. One thing that can be helpful is to make this bigger and put it as close to my drawing surface as I can. So you see how I've figured out kind of this structure is my kind of main structure that I've figured out, and which direction the lines are going in. My drawing is certainly not perfect. We're not aiming for perfect, we're aiming for close. And I'm actually going to make this bigger. So one little trick that I like to use is to put it on my desktop and then rotate the image, and then I can make it gigantic, and I can turn my laptop sideways and bring my paper a little bit closer, and I think that'll be a little bit helpful if I don't tip my camera over. Okay, so you see how I took kind of that big structure, and I've got this big pillar here, and I've got the stairs coming down. Is it perfect? No, but we're not aiming for a perfect. We're aiming for about a 20-minute drawing at the most. So I want to kind of take a look at my lines and figure out kind of which way they're going. And I'm going to take a look at these lines and figure out which way they're going. Okay? And this is going to be in 2-point perspective. And so I want all of, that's not even close to where it should be. So this is going to be like that. I don't think that's right. Okay, don't do this. You don't want to bring out the eraser first of all. That shouldn't be the first thing you do. Okay. So it's always good to have some lines on your paper so that you can kind of see where you need to move them to. So I've got this line And I want to kind of figure out, this is about halfway, and then I've got this pillar here, and then I've got this big thing here that comes almost down to the bottom. And I've got, you know, when you're doing perspective, you really want to draw right through the page, okay? So this line right in here, I know it's going this way. And then my stairs are down here. Ooh. Okay. I'm drawing nice and light so that I can erase very easily. Okay, so I've got that big thing there. I've got semicircle there. If you feel yourself start to focus on details, stop yourself, okay? These circular lines, I'm doing these not in terms of perspective. I'm just kind of enjoying that shape, okay? But we could certainly figure them out in terms of perspective. So this is going to come up like this. And I think I can already tell that I'm going up too far, but that's okay. You don't need to take out the eraser. And then these kind of go over. So let's see, let's work down here. These lines are going across like this. And this, by the way, is a sketching stick. It's an HB graphite stick, and it's just easy for me to hold it, and the hole, I never have to sharpen it, and it's very easy to erase. So if I figure out the center, okay, so if I want to figure out the center of this, I can go like this, and that gets me, if I make an X, that'll get me the center. It's not equal distance between here and here. Notice I'm not using a ruler, okay? I want you to do this without the use of a ruler because I want you to avoid spending 12 hours on each drawing. To figure this out with a ruler, you would get something perfect or that had much more precision, but it would take you so much time, and I don't want you to be spending that much time. The idea is that we're practicing our linear perspective, not that we are absolutely perfecting it. So here's my arch that's coming like this. The top of the arch should be at the center. Okay. And then this is going to come up. So that's the center, and it would come up, and that's here. That's better. Okay. So I've got this, and then this is going back in space, and this like that. I think it's always important. I mean, I think if I'm drawing for myself, I'm often much more interested in getting things accurate. But when I'm drawing for my students in a demo, I do try to be a bit more loose because I think it's very important for people to understand, especially students, that it doesn't have to be perfect. Perfect is not a requirement here. Okay. So let's see here. We've got this pillar coming down, and it would be going towards that finishing point, that bottom. And then the end of it is somewhere here. So if I want to get, let's see, this is coming this way, and all of these are going to go that way as well, towards that vanishing point. And I've got coming up there, And I've got my arch. And remember, it's all about practice, okay? So practice getting those arches the way you think they should be looking. So this is going towards that vanishing point. Every time I make a line, I want to be thinking about what vanishing point it's going towards. And then the center of it's going to be like right there. And it comes down like that. And so, okay, so we've got this arch here. I want to have a little bit more understanding about what's going on here. So when I'm drawing this arch, I imagine that it's going, whoo, all, you can't see where my hand is because it's a foot off the paper. I want to imagine that it's going all the way up. And then I'm looking at this arch here. And these are kind of half ellipses, okay? We haven't really talked about drawing an ellipse in this class, so I'm not going to go into it. Hopefully you do have a sense of ellipses, but it's not something that I focus on, at least not in this this version of this online version of Art 104. Let's see, getting that. Okay, so this is going this way, and I want to, okay, we've got this, and I want to give a hint of this coming down back here. These Piranesi drawings are so complex. So I don't feel as though, I don't feel bad about not getting something right, because it's impossible not to get everything right. I feel like this should be smaller. So actually the top of this should, yeah, so that should be like that, because this one lines up with this one. This one does not line up with those. It's going in a different direction. Oh, and then I want to get this back here so that I can see. All of these are almost, eye level is like right here. It seems, yeah, eye level is right there. If I look at this one that I figured out, you see the two vanishing points. Eye level is right between those two vanishing points right there, right at like the top of the stairs. Okay, so that goes back just a little bit, and then this arch comes up like that. Yeah, kind of like that. So we've got these shapes here. Oh, and I want to do the stairs. I find the stairs to be very enjoyable. They're going off my paper. Okay, so it comes down there. So all of these are going back. So remember that everything recedes in space, okay? So I'm going to darken some of my lines. And there are points in time where you probably will, like you'll see, oh, I did something wrong. This space is too big. This is too close to the edge. But what you want to do is get the general feel, okay? You just want the general feel. And I'm going to darken these lines so that it gives me a sense of what I'm looking at and the general feel, okay? So I'm just stealing the structure from the Piranesi drawing. And it's going that way. Trying not to get lost in any detail. My favorite part is right up here. I just find that to be incredible. The other parts I love are like back there in the background. Those are the best parts. Letting your pencil just glide around the paper to understand how the forms work. Okay, so I'm getting the structure. Is it perfect? No. I'm sure that we'll have some students whose drawings look infinitely better than mine, and that is absolutely fine. I often feel like when I'm doing a demo, it's important for me not to be too focused on doing a good drawing, because there's just too many things to think about. If I was worried about doing a good drawing, I'd forget to film it. But, okay. So that is my structure drawing, and that's about what I would imagine you all would have something like this, okay? If you end up adding more detail or you have less detail, it would be understandable. And that's it. That's your activity. Thanks for watching.